Okay, happy Friday. It has been Demo Night in Lisbon this week, and I'm very pleased to say Filipe is here so we can celebrate him being the People's Choice Award winner this week. Congratulations, my friend. How does that feel?
Feels great. Feels great. It was an amazing evening meeting new entrepreneurs, new founders, and then it's always great to be recognized as the best demo pitch of the night. So I was really happy to be able to share a bit more about what I'm building, and then having that sort of validation and recognition from others.
Now, of course, you get the extra special mention because you're the first ever People's Choice Award winner from a speed date demo night, because we've never done that before ever. Total test and learn experiment. For those people that weren't there, can you explain what happened?
Yeah, definitely. So it was a very relaxed environment, which felt great because it's very easygoing. You felt like you could really connect with others. So we were at this brunch cafe, which is very techy, and we had about four tables, and then in each table there were about three, four, five people, really depending on which table, and then each of the founders, each of the people that were presenting would go from one table to the other and just pitch their idea, their startup in 10 minutes. So I think all of us, we were four presenting, enjoyed that approach. At least I did, because you really got to connect with people on a more on a deeper level, but then also received more critical feedback. I think someone made that comment as well that night. If you were in an auditorium, people would probably be a bit more shy or reluctant to share actual critical feedback. But because you're on a smaller setting with just four or five people, I think everyone's more open to just be honest and transparent about what they think about the product and ask questions. So I think it was also really helpful and a great approach.
I loved watching it. Like, we came up with this 24 hours before it happened. You guys were so kind. You got the random email and the WhatsApp from me saying, just going to do things a little bit differently tomorrow. And you all kind of launched into it. But I loved the energy. I loved the volume, the way it rose. I loved the fact that every time I came up to the table, there were this dialogue. It was backwards and forwards. It was this kind of like, well, can you tell me this? And what about that? And have you thought about this? And I don't get it. I mean, it makes no sense. And it's everything we ever hope for in a demo night, but just like faster and more intense. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
So
and I'll also say, this was my first Canopy event. This was my first demo pitching night, and just to say and thank you that you made everything and everyone, at least myself, speaking for myself, feel welcomed. It was a very inviting environment. Yeah.
well, I think the place, I mean, Nina's Brunch Cafe, it was a pretty good setting, right? Bernardo looked after us very well, and having Irina, obviously, she's part of the community as well, but having her come and say hello to everybody at the start, and we all felt like we were at home, right? We were in her house. It was amazing. So, right. So, for those people that don't know you, as your People's Choice winner, you get a moment here to say, what is Peekaboo? What are you doing?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the founders of Peekaboo. It's myself and John. John is my co-founder. I always like to mention him as well because I wouldn't be here without him. And he's handling everything on the technical side of things. So he's actually building the product, coding it, and I'm doing everything else. So marketing, sales, customer success, product design. So I handle that part. And what we do is basically SEO for AI engines. So we help brands understand how visible they are in AI engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and so on, and how to optimize for them. So the search and buying behavior is changing drastically. I dare say 1 2 years ago, people would most likely just go on Google and search for something and then click on a web page and check that out and go from there. But the truth is, in 2025, that's not just the case anymore. Google still dominates the search market. I'm not going to deny that, and SEO is still very much relevant to all of this. But the truth is, everyone's using ChatGPT more as an advisor and using it for recommendations, whether that's on a personal level, maybe for the younger generations, but also on a buying level and evaluation level for software, for products, whatever that may look like. So we're trying to build a tool that can help brands be mentioned in those AI answers.
Okay, and I mean, you obviously did this for us on the evening, so we could see what Canopy looked like inside the Peekaboo machine, which is super interesting to me because I'm involved in the Canopy SEO stuff, and I see this every week. And we use a tool called Site Guru, and it's recently added a report in there for AI visibility. But what you gave us was 100x what we're getting from that Site Guru tool. And I know they're just evolving and everything, and it's an app sumo special for us and all, but I was quite astounded by the depth that you were able to go to, and then showing me the publications that would be good authority sources for me to get featured in and all that kind of stuff. It was super, super interesting. So I don't know where you're going to take it, but that felt a lot more than an MVP. That felt quite a rich product that you were showing us. Is it an MVP or is it an MLP, or have you gone quite a long way with John in terms of building this thing out?
I think we're past the MVP stage. So I'll tell you a little bit about our story, which is quite a unique one. Something I'm also quite proud of. So me and John, my co-founder, we met about a year ago, and we met on Reddit. So we've actually never met in person.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy to me.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that is. Everyone says the same thing. So we met online on Reddit. I initially helped him out with one of his other SaaS products. We worked together for about 2 months. Then we stopped working together. And then 3 months later, he made this post on Reddit about SEO, and I was like, all right, I have this idea for visibility in engines. I hit him up and I told him, hey, do you want to work on this together? And he said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. And I was working full time still then, and I did work for full time for the first 3 months of Peekaboo. So I started 6 months ago. We started with a very simple landing page, just a wait list. We shared that on Reddit with other people. In a week, we got 120 people signing up for that waitlist, which was insane to be able to get 120 emails in just a week by sharing a couple of posts on Reddit about the idea. And that was enough validation for us to, feel that we're onto something here. So we built just one feature that basically generated a free AI visibility audit for companies. We shared that on Reddit. I think in 2 weeks we had about 300-400 people testing out the tool. So we
Amazing.
did a quick AI visibility audit, and in exchange we would get their email address. And then things really took off, I think, 3 weeks, 4 weeks after we released that feature, when someone made a TikTok about us. Uh, we just started seeing so many people visiting our website, and we weren't sure why, right? And then we started jumping on calls with some of these leads, and then people were telling us, hey, we found you on TikTok. So we spent quite some time to find that TikTok that mentioned us. Eventually we did, just by spending a lot of time looking for it. And that TikTok blew up. It got 50,000 views. It drove around 600 people in just 3 days to our website, which was insane. And out of these 600 people, there were a lot of high profile, like C-level people. We got really big companies coming our way just because of that TikTok. And from there, we spent another month and a half validating the idea, building these relationships. We made around $1,500 in pre-sales before we wrote a single line of code. So at that point, we were about 2-3 months in, and then we built a beta. Mid-July, we were in beta from August, throughout the month of August, exactly, from beginning of August until the end of August. And then less than 2 months we launched the product, and we are now working with close to 30 companies and are making just over 3,000 in MRR. So not a bad start.
Not a bad start, and really inventive use of tools and stuff. I mean, I'm of the wrong, well, I don't know if I'm the wrong generation, but I don't use TikTok, right? This is not my thing, but I can see how that's kind of, it's been one of the perfect lean startup journeys for you, right? From Reddit to TikTok to, yeah, very good, very good. You're like a case study. I'm sure a business school somewhere, maybe Nova, is going to be knocking on your doors saying, "Hey, come and tell us how this all works. We want to use you in a case study."
Yeah, I hope so.
Are you taking this to Web Summit? Is Web Summit a week for you? Have you got an alpha stand or something?
Yeah, so I did actually speak to Web Summit. I looked into the alpha program or beta program, whatever it's called. Had a call with them, but I felt like for the money they were asking us, it wasn't worth the investment at this time. Also because our ICP are mainly marketing folks and agencies. And I don't think they're the sort of people that will attend Web Summit. I went last year as well, just as a guest. We wanted to go as a company with a booth, so we ended up deciding not to make that investment. We rather, maybe invest it elsewhere in something that's a bit more relevant for us.
Okay, well, I mean, a few things we can talk about later, but have a look at the Agency Hackers meetup that usually goes on during Web Summit. It's a fringe event, and it's full of marketing folks like you might be looking for. Our CTO in residence, Matt, he actually goes to those because he has his own digital agency, and he's part of the Agency Hacker community. So I know he went to that the last 2 years. So have a chat with Matt as well, and you'll probably get a good bridge. But Demo Night is obviously about iterations and finding your way and stuff, and having all this kind of dialogue. Did anything else come out of Demo Night for you on the evening? Did you make some new friends, or did you get some new business or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely made quite a lot of connections. It's great there were some founders there, in the 7 figures in revenue. It's always amazing to get to speak with those entrepreneurs that are already ahead, and share where you are in the entrepreneurial journey, get advice from them. And in terms of new business, we also got a lead. There was someone working for a PR agency in the crowd, in the audience, and they were interested in our product, asked me to add them to LinkedIn, which I did. And now we're chatting. Let's see, maybe there could be some business coming from there. And it's a perfect use case. It's one of the main use cases we have.
Okay, magic. All right, so let's finish off today. For anybody who's watching this that's thinking about coming to Demo Night in the future and doing a demo, what's your best advice for becoming the People's Choice Award winner? How do you do it?
It's a great question. I think for Demo Night and just in general, start with the problem. Like, start explaining what problem you're solving. I think that's really important. And don't sell necessarily the product, the features. So my background is in sales, and I'm perhaps a bit more used to this way of thinking. But you're not there to, in a way, you are of course there to pitch yourself and present what you're building. But I think to make that story much more relatable, you need to tell a story about the problem that you're solving and why that's actually a problem. So I'm always, and I think I did this here today in today's interview as well, I always like to start by telling the story and how search is changing, how the buying behavior is changing, and how we're building a solution that goes into that. So whatever tool or product you're building, I would recommend folks to start by making sure that they've got a great story to tell, and that they start with the problem and then into the solution, and not the other way around. So that would be the one key takeaway.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, I really appreciate all the energy you brought to this week, for embracing the Audible 24 hours before we actually went live with the Demo Night, and for congratulations for the win that you've got today. I look forward to bringing you more into the community. You should have your first perks arriving for you now, introducing you to some of the partners and helping you now on your journey. As a People's Choice winner, just like the others this year, you're one of the VIPs in the community now. We're gonna be proactive in how we help you. We're gonna look to you for advice as well. And as you go through your journey, we hope you will pull people through as well. Those people that are 6 or 12 months behind you, and give them a hand along the way. But congratulations, man! Amazing stuff.
And thanks for hosting me. Thanks for bringing me in. It's been very inviting, very welcoming. So do appreciate you very much.
Happy days. Happy weekend. Bon fin de semana.
Thanks.